this is a nice. Look at all this environment. You can even see the detail. What are you doing? Oh, that's actually pretty good. It's quite nice as well. That's it. Yeah. And I don't even know how to paint. That was just a shit little Photoshop thing.
If you can't tell, I fucking love this game. Everything about it is beautifully done. Fuck, that felt good to get my own back. So, shall we get on with the review then? Rise of the Tomb Raider is an intense third-person 3D platform game that I've enjoyed from start to finish, with its spectacular environments where you're going to stop and revel in it from time to time. With a lot of intense moments where you're going to be sitting on the edge of your seat, screaming or swearing. Lara Croft is more interesting on this one, where it dives into her past and you start to see how persistent she is on her journey. The story is a dangerous and interesting one. Without spoiling it, it revolves around Lara continuing her father's work to find the source. What's like the Fountain of Youth, in the meantime there's another organisation called Trinity who is looking for it too, so you end up clashing throughout your journey. The majority of the game takes place in an old Soviet outpost, and each area seems rich with its environment. You see murals, old brilliant designed buildings what immerse you into the game. The controls will take some players time to get used to with Lara's gymnastic abilities and their climbing mechanics, but the game has an excellent tutorial to teach you how to do this, and you learn it in a very short time. The climbing system can be a bit clumsy at times, but this happens very rarely, but this could be down to my controller, where you made the jump and then died and then you do the same thing again and it works. The gun aiming for me was a little bit off. If you're trigger happy, you're gonna really notice this, apart from the shotgun. But if you're using the bow, it feels more natural than the guns. The bow is easily the best weapon in the game, especially with its poison arrow, flame arrows, explosive arrows, and there's even more to get excited about. I love the bow. Maybe a bit too much. And using Molotovs or can grenades later on, what you can make with the objects nearby, it makes the combat more interesting of what tactics what you can do. The stealth system is okay, but later on this is made redundant when you unlock the weapons. I found myself very rarely using the stealth system. As I progressed throughout the game, and I did have a lot of fun with the weapons, it's like you become an unstoppable juggernaut with all the upgrades what you get. And you do die a lot, and the brutal deaths make a comeback as well.
Fatality.
But I didn't die as much as in this one as I did in the 2013 one. The enemy variety is alright. There's the standard ones what are just there just to be shot at, and they become predictable very quickly. But when you start facing the new ones where you have to think of alternative ways of attacking, it becomes a much more satisfying fight. The puzzles make a comeback as well, but they're not really there in the main storyline. And if you like exploring, you're going to find these hidden caves, and some of them lead us elsewhere. And find optional side quests, and this is where you're going to encounter more of these nice puzzles, and this is where the game really shines. And if you need help on the main missions or the puzzles, Lara still has a Tomb Raider vision. The map is easy to navigate. You can fast travel between campfires, and campfires is where you spend your skill points and your perks that suit your playstyle and upgrade your equipment. What you find, like boxes have bolts, and killing animals for their skin. Also you can change outfits, and you can find more upgrades throughout your journey. Also you can craft arrows and bullets at any time. The game also has a good autosave system. And those of you who likes collectibles, you're going to be more than satisfied. They're littered throughout the game with their own little tale to tell. But there is one issue I had with the game, is the fucking swimming mechanic. You can't see that good in certain sections, and sometimes Lara's too big for the screen and it restricts your view. But there was one part of the game where I couldn't pull myself away from, was the trebuchets. What you get to use later on. I kept on seeing on what I could destroy and spent way too much time on that part. graphics are outstanding with its breathtaking sights and its dynamic weather, and the old buildings and the hair physics are the best that I've ever seen it. If it gets wet, Lara drains her hair to the way that it moves in the wind, also how it collects snow, and perhaps I've noticed the hairstyles way too much in this. And the cutscenes are remarkable and believable, with the face animations are outstanding and you know what Lara's actually feeling.
Jonah, if you can hear me, go back. Please don't try to find me.
A lot of the details went into this and it shows. Some of the cutscenes are very emotional. You can tell right away there's a lot of care what went into each and every one. The voice acting is good and nothing really sounds off. As for side characters, they are done well, but there's a little room for improvement, like the main villain on the game is a generic villain. I would like to see a bit more diversity with him.
I left you in charge here.
Yes, sir. But we didn't expect such heavy resistance.
You were to be my eyes. I expected you to see. You must know what is at stake with this operation.
Yes, but no. No.
You don't.
No.
How could someone like you?
Fatality.
Hey, where's the writing gone? The soundtrack is unfortunately forgettable. Nothing really sticks out. Heck, I can't even remember one. For the game's length, I clocked on around about 14 hours, but I didn't do all the side missions, and if you do the side missions and like exploring, I think that you might get around about 40 hours. And if you do nothing but the main quest, I can see it done in around about 8 hours. It's all about how you play it. So in the end, Rise of the Tomb Raider gets a 9 out of 10, and I would definitely fucking recommend it. It's a brilliant and unique game, and you're gonna have fun with it. The only reason why I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because there's this other game mode what's tacked on where you fire chickens and try and beat your own score is something what you're not going to pay attention to. So have you played it? What would you give this game? Leave it in the comments below. Until next game, I'm fucking off.
So in the end, Rise of the Tomb Raider gets a 9 out of 10, and I definitely recommend it. It's a brilliant game. The only reason why I can't give it a 10 out of 10 is because it's other mode was tacked on where you fire chickens and got big heads and try and beat your own time. It's something you're not going to pay attention to. So what would you give this game? Leave it in the comments below. Fuck. And you're throwing Molotovs and can grenades. It's something what brings more tactic. And you're throwing Molotovs and can grenades. It's a new mechanicals in the game what I really like. It brings in new tactics, and it's have you played Uncharted? You know the mechanics of the game and how it's going to work. It's just no. Fuck, that felt good.